right, right. We're back on our last part of mobile web application. So I just want to congratulate you guys for making this far. We'll continue with the basic structure of our React Native application. First, both React and React Native use JSX syntax to mix HTML and JavaScript. And as usual, I will start with this with a metaphor for long-term understanding. First, app.js, like what we have built before, is like the stage that set up the play for our components. So I'll provide the details for example of classes components, but the second or letter B is example of classes of React Native library. So I'll show you guys the example of classes of React Native library. Here, we import status bar from expo status bar, and then these are the classes, style sheet, text, and view from React Native. Now, before we are able to use that, we need to import the React Native. So here's the command. We need to go to the root folder, cd hello world, and npx expo install React DOM, React Native Web, for us to be able to run this on our um, browser like this. So it's waiting on localhost 8082 because 8081 is already in use here. I'll show you guys what this looks like here. Hello world. So here is the text. It's the class that we import. View. So for view, the style is in this structure. It's also in JSX, right? But there's a nuance on that which will provide the difference later. And style sheet, we import the style sheet for us to be able to use this style. So for the next topic, view, it lets us view class. View class provides a container in which further UI components can be defined. View, this class, it contains the the UI components. So the best way to understand this is these actors and actress. So here's the view. One of the actors is this. This is the view. So what it does, it contains it allows us to contain a UI component, just like how we contain or we create UI using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. The text class represents a simple text. So this text class, hello world, it represents a simple text in this web app. So moving forward or in the next videos, we will provide an example on how you actually run this in Android Studio, because in order to run this in Android or iOS, you need to have like this Android Studio app for Windows if you're using Windows. So here we will just skip that and then focus on the nuance of the structure of React and React Native. So there is some differences with HTML and CSS when it comes to React and React Native. HTML, you can write the direct HTML elements in React, but in React Native, you cannot do that. In It's the same in CSS as well, though you have the same name, almost the same name for React Native for you to be able to easily use that. So that's the difference between the JSX structure. So the JSX structure in this metaphor is like the script provided by React and React Native, which is the director of display. So that's one of the best way to understand that. So user interface components, you can view an overview of React Native UI components at this website. So there's a pre-configured React Native UI components that you can use on your app here. If not, you can definitely use external libraries to import that component. And then using buttons. So I'll show an example of using buttons for our app here. As you can see, there's a click here button now when you change that. So we'll dig on that code later. After you import button class, you can now define the component itself within the HTML code, just like you defined the text component before. So after you import this button class, you can now import the text just like you import the text before. You can use title property to specify what text should be displayed on the button and the onPress property to specify which function is called when the button is clicked. So here we use the title click here. That's why it shows click here on this button and alert that alert. So it's a React Native function that it's like an alert log that we have discussed in JavaScript that is provided by your operating system. So it provides an alert. So it's a pre-configured function already, but we use an onPress property. When we click this, it triggers this onPress property. And then, yeah, so it's another UI component provided by React Native. And then letter D, using input fields. In React Native, text input fields are represented by the text input class. So I'll provide an example here. Here's the text input class here. So again, to better understand, text input is one of the actors. It's one of the classes that provides us the actors on the play. And now we use state as we have used in React. First, the appearance of the text input fields is configured via additional CSS rules. So this is an example of that when we reload this here. So this text input class is configured using the style sheet here, the style. So that's what it meant. Second, the use of the useState function from the React library stands out. So we use this function as we use React language. This app.js provides first element and last element function. So it provides two elements. Whenever you click this, it triggers this function on change first name. And whenever you click this, it triggers this on change last name. And then it changed this variable based on your input. So let's say we change something here, first name like Gareth. It changed the first name variable first name, right? First name to Gareth. And then it changed it, the last name change when I input the last name. And then you can create a backend for a MERN app like what I have created by changing some of the syntax like div or something like that. But in this video, we will just discuss how to configure the front end or to make a simple app without backend. for us to start with the basics. So as a result, if the text in the input field or the first name changes, the onChange first name function is called and the first name variable in the state is updated. If the text in the input field for the last name changes, the onChange last name function is called accordingly and the last name variable is updated. And last part, letter E, building and publishing applications. To build an applications, use either Expo Build Android or Expo Build iOS command depending on the target platform. B, you'll need an account at this site, which is free and can be created either from the website or from command line. So if any of you guys thinking of publishing an app, there's a $25 one-time fee for Google Play Store. And then if let's say you're just using this for personal project and there's only 10 people or less who use this, you won't pay any extra cost. Assuming you know how to deploy the app in Android Studio. So it's the same concept of building an app. You need the back end, cloud, and then database, and then front end. So that's it, guys. So to sum it up, we discussed the different types of mobile applications, hybrid, native, and mobile web applications. And for native, we don't have as much. I mean, we didn't dig deep into that. But with the hybrid web application using React, we discuss some of its basic features. So for you to be able to create a web native application that you can immediately publish in uh, Google Play Store or iOS because most consumers expects us to create a mobile web application. So this is an economical way for you to create that application. So again, guys, thank you for watching and see you on the next video. Peace.